I know many of you do want to know the good SRs, other good SRs. I'm just going to be talking about my top 5 SRs in the game and just generally the top 5 SRs in the game in terms of usability and different types of content. I'd say some are much better in PvE, some being better in PvP. So let's just talk about it. Now let's see. Let me just go here. So first off, we're going to be talking about this red SR Asta, who's actually really good because he has basically a AoE taunt and also goes into a defensive state on his AoE taunt that reduces damage taken by 50%, which is honestly gonna like stop you from dying for like those 2 turns. So I'd say this already is just a really good ult for PvE, and if you want early PvP, I'd say this is also really good. Now alongside that, his skill 2 and skill 1, if you have the skill page on, both increase defense, and if there's an incapacitate on the ally, there's a 30% chance to stun. So like he's very good with people like Lotus, which is honestly really good because Lotus obviously is a really good unit. So I'd say him just being like this for a tank, honestly, if you don't have Mars or just want someone who actually like could taunt, and I'd say he's good, right? Like he is very good. For an SR unit, I'm happy that they made Asta this good. In my eyes, I'd say definitely one of the better SRs, especially for PvE. I just see him being used a lot. In my opinion, I like him. And PvP, I didn't really release these videos, but like there were some showcase videos I had in mind, and he was definitely carrying because like he AoE taunted, stunned, and just stayed alive, made sure that no one else took hits. So I really liked him. Now next up is going to be, he's right here. Who could have guessed? Voltos, absolutely a broken unit, especially for this current meta. I'd say that Voltos is like just top 5 in the game in general, but Voltos himself is just really good. He gives basically 20% stamina, so he's more of a PvP unit, by the way. He gives 20% stamina to the whole team, which is basically going to get you to 100% stamina. And once you're at 100% stamina, you go next. So first off, this is just a really good ult. Getting to attack next is just much better. Like, even if Funerals gives speed, you know, and crit, this one basically guarantees you attack next. And then this also is just really good. You increase magic attack and also you increase accuracy while also stopping, I think it was stamina lowering. So Lotus's ability is futile to the person who gets these buffs, but the magic attack is definitely the biggest increase on like certain people. I'd say that for Kyoto, he's also really good because of the accuracy increase, but for Noel too, because Noel does buff herself by 55% magic, but him it's 70, so it is actually a bit more than the ult. So you could still technically use Noel's shield before you ult and still get the massive magic damage boost. So he's very good. Then of course he has a skill 1 that does increase the lowest person's stamina by 15%, while also having the second highest speed in the game alongside Funeral. He's good. He's very good. I'm very happy people stopped sleeping on him, including me. I had him in like, I think like F tier or something like that in my first tier list, but then I'm like, oh shit, this stamina upgrade is insane. It's insane. It really is. Now, next up, Funeral. He was actually probably the best unit in the game at launch. Like, I think many people had him as like the craziest. I'd say that he was very good considering that people didn't use Voltos. He did basically he was the only one that we thought was like anything crazy for like speed and stamina, but nah, Voltos too. But either way, this guy increases everyone's speed speed by 55%, 70% chance to dispel debuffs, and also a 50% chance to increase crit rate, which overall everything about this is just good. Like, getting crit rate is amazing because not many people have like a lot of crit rate. 22% also is insane for everyone. Speed increase is great, and if you pair Voltos and Funeral together, it's insane. Now this is, I'd say his skill 2 might be better than Voltos's in most cases, right? Because it could has a 60% chance to apply 15% increased stamina to all allies, which is honestly really good. It's not guaranteed, but if you get it off, that could be like insanely useful. But it also increases attack by 55%, and if they do already have a crit rate buff, they're going to increase their damage by 10% for 2 turns. So this is a really good skill too, allowing you to still attack a bit quicker if you get lucky, if you have the skill page, while also increasing damage, right? And this just increases speed. So yes, Finral also has 124 speed at 5 dupes. Both of them have that, and I think it makes both of them really good. I'm really happy that Finral got the love he deserves. I'm honestly really happy with them. Animations are cool. Everything about this guy's cool. I think Finral's just a really good unit overall. Really love him. And yeah, no, definitely an amazing SR unit. Now this one, we're getting into like the DPS section, is solid. Solid is actually, well, guess what? A solid unit. He actually has like really good crit stats. He has a good skill page. So for him having a really good like actual like skill page is good because it's gonna already buff him on his skill too. And overall he's good. He has two AoE skills. One's a main and adjacent one, so hitting 3 people, and this one's gonna be a full alt. And the alt one is going to be insane. So it's going to be increased. By the way, he has one of the only actual good passives as an SR, being 4% increased crit damage. Sorry, increased damage done. Now, the alt is going to be, by the way, pretty high AoE multiplier for an SR especially. It's going to be increasing crit damage by level 3. So that's a 45% crit damage increase, while also having it so that every buff is an extra 10% crit damage. And alongside the fact that he has good crit rate with his passive and also just other abilities, it's good because this is going to be increasing his crit rate by 22% for 2 turns, while also having a chance to silence on 3 enemies. So he's just really good for that. Then his skill 1 does a lot of damage, has an 80% chance of applying crit damage, level 2 being 35%. He's a crit unit, so like build him a crit, but no, like if you really do go into him and like actually build him, he could be really good. And I wonder what is it like, yeah, so he gets crit rate 2 and crit damage, so that's also really good. And yeah, no, overall very good. And like getting 8% at max is nice. I wish I got more copies of him, but I don't, which is very, very sad. I'd love to dupe him out max fully and then try him out in a video. Would be really fun, honestly. I'd say that just having this AoE that does pretty good damage with the crit damage increase, alongside being a better version of Jack's ult slightly, and also having a crit rate skill 2 that basically just increases your crit rate by 22%, while also silencing AoE, by the way, or 3 people, by the way. It's really good, I gotta say. Then last off is Ghosh. Of course, this is him. I haven't built him up, but like his multipliers, especially for being a SR, are really good. Like, he has 150, which is the base for pretty much all of the SSRs, somewhere maybe 160. And he does get up pretty high. I think his is like 210 at max maybe. So it's good. But the big thing is, even though his multipliers aren't like as high, but are still very high, he does also do additional attacks. That here it's 90% additional attack. Here it's 50%, and then here it's 50% again. And then wait, so 50% chance, sorry, here it's 30%. So overall, it's all like really good additional attacks, which make in total for like his multipliers to just be like kind of insane. So I'd say that that is really good. And in terms of his stats, if we look at max, he has like the average speed for a DPS, and then he has really good crit stats overall, like having more crit rate than normal. So I personally think that like he is pretty good. Now in terms of his attack and magic attack stats though, if I check right now, I don't think they're that high. I mean, they're not that high, which is like one thing about SRs, but I still think you can make good use of them, considering everything, him being blue, and I think he does have a good passive, but I could be actually so off the mark, but let me just make sure. He does have increased damage with attacking the healer, so no, not good. But either way, I think he is a pretty good SR, single target if you do need someone. You could use him, but I mean, obviously Kyato and Yami are better, but he does exist, I'd say. He is there, and he is there to use in my eyes. Yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, that's the video. Those are the top 5 SRs in my eyes. Of course, there are other good ones, but those are the ones that I wanted to mention. So yeah, let me know what other SRs you guys find underrated, and peace.